We are on page 287, speaking about, wow, look, what we spoke in the morning about, Chagai? If you make a brit on Shabbat, what we spoke in the morning? Look, I'm not, look.
I left it open to
David, this morning, we speak about if the Mohel does brit milah on Shabbat.
ringing the bell.
This morning,
Ringing the bell is annoying. I don't know why they don't.
page 287, that's exactly what we spoke in the morning, and look what Hashem sent us. Yosef, this Shabbat, we're gonna have a brit, so you can come. By our friend over here, Akakusayev. We're gonna have a beautiful brit. So now, the Shulchan Aruch Navas Mitzi, 287. We spoke about can the Mohel spit on Shabbat on the sand, on the dirt? What we said? Is he allowed to do that? Because whenever he spits the blood, you have to suck the blood out and spit on the sand. Now, spitting on the sand, indoors you don't have sand. What do? You before Shabbat designate sand, and that's not muktzeh because you designate it. Even though regular sand on Shabbat, it's muktzeh. You cannot just throw muktzeh sand on Shabbat and play with that unless you designated it before Shabbat. Harijon. So if you designate it before Shabbat, the sand, you have no problem to move it around on Shabbat. It's not muktzeh. Question is, thank you. Question is, what about? Huh? I don't know. This is my chai? Oh, okay. So, Adu Joma. Bukhari said twin boys right now. That's the Bukhari say.
Not twin boys.
For me or for you?
For both.
Why did you do it on the sand?
So the Kabbalistic is supposed to spit the blood after you made the sucking the blood from the baby. You're supposed to spit it on the sand. Question is, on Shabbat, you're not allowed to make powder turn into paste. When you're spitting liquid on sand, it's going to turn into mud, which is a paste in a way. So is it allowed to be done or no?
You're not mixing it.
Huh?
You're not mixing it.
So very good. So if you remember, we had a debate between the Rishonim. Are we passing that the laws of lash, kneading on Shabbat, you're not allowed to make kneading. Kneading is you're taking a powder and you're adding liquid to it and you're making it a paste. On Shabbat, it's not allowed to be done. So over here, you're taking a sand, like a powder, right? And you are spitting over it the blood. What about mixing it, kneading it on Shabbat? Are you allowed to do or no? So Rav Yosef says, since your kavanah is not to make that into paste, it's not like a person that taking, let's say, powder of mashed potato. Do you know the mashed potato powder? Right? A person has a cheap catering hall and he makes mashed potato from powder, which is tastes like the powder, right? It's not tasty as good as the real one, and that's how it is. You know, it's a quick solution and cheap solution and very unhealthy solution, but that's the reality. Person right now wants to do this on Shabbat. Yosef John, is he allowed to do that or no? So according to our Torah, it's not allowed. I think whoever sits on that seat, they always make the opposite answers. Even the Tzlaidi, not allowed on Shabbat to make kneading. Mixing powder with water or with any liquid and making it a paste, not allowed to do this on Shabbat. So now, what about the Brit Milah? Whenever you make the Brit Milah, you remember, Brit Milah, you're not allowed to cut the bandage before Shabbat, on Shabbat, you have to prepare it before Shabbat. You're not allowed to smear things on Shabbat, you have to smear it. No, smear, it's you can dab it. You don't have to smear even layer.
Cream on the
cream. On the bandage. On the bandage you could put it around and just dab it. You don't have to smear even layer on it, right? So this could be done on Shabbat. But cutting the bandage in a certain size on Shabbat is not allowed. You have to the mohel have to be announced before Shabbat. Tell him that you're gonna have a cut to do on Shabbat, the Brit Milah. So he'll have to prepare the bandage before Shabbat, because on Shabbat he's not allowed to cut that bandage. He has to prepare that before. The only thing you're allowed on Shabbat is the Brit, Tamon. You cannot do anything else besides that on Shabbat.
But sometimes happen that the Moel couldn't come and Shabbat, you have the other Moel in the shul, you need to do.
So you cannot. Cutting the bandage will be a problem.
It doesn't have any bandage, what are you going to do?
You postpone the brit
You could postpone the Brit because of that, yeah. That's how serious. You cannot, in Chilul Shabbat.
But it's mitzvah.
But some say there is a way around. How? You tell one goy to tell another goy. No, two goyim is enough in the picture to cut the bandage. You can. There is איך אומרים?
Or you cut it
A way around, but it should not be done this way.
Can you cut it
It should be
בשינוי?
done the right way. Aaron bet. Huh?
Can you cut it בשינוי?
Cutting it בשינוי. How? No, how are you going to cut בשינוי? Oh.
You don't cut it with a knife or scissor, you cut you by kaya, by in a different way.
אוקיי, רבו ישי, שהכל.
Yes.
ברשות מוריי ורבותיי.
Mine.
ברוך. ש"ס, אהרון said. אהרון said it. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Okay. So now, is it allowed if you prepare the bandage before Shabbat? You spit on Shabbat. The spitting is not meant for to make it a paste. You're not intending for that. Your intention is to evacuate your mouth from the blood that you just sucked from the baby. You have to spit that blood out. So if you're spitting it on Shabbat, you're making the paste. You're not intending for the paste. So that's called pasik reshe, because your kavanah is to spit, is not to make a paste. It's an inevitable action.
You spit in
It's
somewhere
like
else.
automatically to happen.
All the mualim, they bring sand with them.
I don't know, but they do.
It's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory. It's kabbalistically.
Okay,
Kabbalistic.
so it's Kabbalistic.
Said it. Now, what do you do on Shabbat? So designate before Shabbat that
Coming without sand, spinning on the floor.
I have a box of sand. I call
You
it.
have, but
It's not. It's not. It's hard. It's in a cover.
I've been seeing that many people they doing
Many times you do put it inside. That's it.
they
It's a big
not
deal.
by Kabbalah. it's
Not,
done by,
not hard. Not hard. No, some things kabbalistically it's hard. You have to wear two tefillins if it is. No, you have to by mincha. It's like a hard thing to follow. You have to fast, or now Shovavim. You have to fast a lot of days of Shovavim. It's hard things to do. Certain things, or roll in the snow. It's very hard.
They did today over there.
Yeah,
Rolling and stuff.
rolling in snow.
Yeah, they
Today it's finished. Today, all the snow is gone already.
Oh, Shama Yesh.
In the mountains. What? You have to be fully naked. They did it? I don't believe that. It's very painful. Fully naked. No underwear.
What's that segula for?
But, you have to roll 9 times.
For what?
To a kapara for the brit. The body that enjoyed the avera makes up. The pasuk, that's the secret of the pasuk. Miyu chataechem kashanim. Kashe legialbinu. Hashem says, if your averot is going to be dirty as the red of shani, it's a bloody red, I will make them clean and white like snow. So the Arizal says, that's the secret of the pasuk. Kashe legialbinu, that you have to clean your avera of the brit, which is spilling the seed, is shfichut damim. It's blood. It's life. You could have bring to the world, and you're spilling this life. That's why it's very important. A person should not spill his seed in vain. Has v'shalom, right? You have to make relations with his wife their kosher way, not in a non-kosher way with other women, or even with his own wife, non-kosher way. So because that could be an avera for zera lebatala lo alenu. So now if a person have done that lo alenu, you have to make tikkun for that. One of the tikkunim is roll in the snow. There's also kavanot that you should have to have in mind when you do that.
When you're doing tikkun on snow, you're cleaning all your life. I mean, all your...
That's not our point. You know, tikkun abrit is a different
no,
time.
it's not our
So,
point.
it was just a side point I went to tell you that there are certain things kabbalistically is very hard to follow. Not everybody can handle this, but these things are easy things. So why we should not? Everybody should do that. Take a small box of sand, put it in a container with a thing on top. You roll it, screw it in, screw it out. Push things, very easy. Also, Arizal said you have to flip the brit. After that, you cut, flip it, put it inside that afar. As Hashem cursed then the snake. Hashem said the snake you're going to eat always afar. Afar tohal kol yomei
You
chayecha.
have to flip this one.
So the inside, that's where it was attached to the Kodesh. The outside was not attached to the Kodesh. The inside was attached. You have to flip it and then say, "V'nahash afar lachmo." Hashem gave to Nahash lechem. What is the lechem? What's the bread of the Nahash? The sand, the soil, the dirt. Now you give that to
To do
him
with this one?
because that's the center part of the Nahash. The Ola is the part of the Nahash,
This way,
of the snake.
this way by Kabbalah, all Noalim has to have Nachash in the home, sand in the home, everything.
No, why? You make a big deal.
No, you bring
Так,
everything.
коробка, маленькая коробка of sand. Open it, spit inside, do the thing
You
inside.
bury it.
Very
You have to
simple.
bury it,
Yeah,
you
then
know.
you take a bury it. It's very easy, not a big thing. So now on Shabbat you want to spit inside that sand. Allowed or no?
Yes.
So it says Rabbi Yosef, it is allowed.
First of
Why
all,
allowed? That's not done for the breed, that's done after the breed. The breed was already cut, then you suck. It's already finished. So why that sucking is allowed to be done? No, sucking, the spitting is allowed.
First of all, second of all,
No, part of
Shabbat.
inside, that's not the first of all. It's not true.
Yes, your
The second thing you said is right, because it's not your machshava to make that paste.
intention to-
So it's pasik reshe, nisud derabanan. Why is derabanan? Because you're not mixing it, you're just spitting it, and you don't care for that to become paste. It's not in your favor. So pasik reshe, remember the equation? Pasik reshe, nisud derabanan, that you don't care for the end result.
Same thing, or
Muta.
the pee.
And that's why a person is allowed to pee on Shabbat on urine, on sand. A person wants to pee on sand, no problem, allowed to be done on Shabbat.
Because of the same three reasons.
Right. The sand is going to become right now paste. Aaron, why is that allowed? Because it's not in my favor. It's not my intention. My intention is just to relieve myself. I don't intend to make the soil into paste, into mud. It's not. Who cares about this? It's not in my favor. It's pasik reshe derabanan. You don't care for. It is allowed.
Speaking of mixing it, can you cover it?
Cover what?
Bring more sand to cover it.
No, muktzeh. Unless you're gonna do it with your hand, with your legs.
With your legs. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
But
Yeah.
now if you cover it, then you're mixing it.
No, you're not mixing it. You're covering it. Mixing is mixing.
So it's covered. But you
Yeah.
can't cover it with you know.
Got it? Next, number 2. We said later on. Yeah, so we said you have to mix in order to violate the oraita. Then we said at 289, why the Mishnah is speaking about the laws of, are you allowed to bake on Shabbat? Not, are you allowed to cook on Shabbat? Where it says you're not allowed to cook on Shabbat? Torah doesn't say that. Where do we say, Haggai, you're not allowed to cook on Shabbat?
It's part of the.
Put the fire before Shabbat.
One of the
On Shabbat, I want to add something on the plata. Are you allowed or no?
It depends what.
I take a skavarodka, I take a pan, I crack an egg. I don't turn on the fire. Everything is already on before Shabbat. Can I do that on Shabbat or no? My osovo is about to burn. Can I add water onto it on Shabbat from the sink?
No.
Huh? Not allowed to. Why not? I don't do nothing. I just put some water
It
inside.
look like cooking.
Because you are
That's the way you cook.
Because you are very good changing the status of the uncooked water, putting it inside the oslo, inside the food. You're making it cooked water. Not allowed to do that on Shabbat.
Even though you're taking hot water,
Even what says even hot water is not allowed to.
it's already.
There is reasons why. Because it gets cold on the way, a little
It's
bit.
not getting cold.
If you're not gonna make it cold, then it's fine. Unless you make klisheni. If you put in klisheni, then the klisheni made it cold. Not the air space. The klisheni made it
No,
cold.
you're taking straight.
Straight, yeah, no problem. No problem. No, what yashar? What is that? That's klisheni. So you put klisheni, it's already cooled it.
Oh, so
If you put the samavar directly.
Open the samavar. Oh, but yeah,
Right.
you learn this one.
Yeah. Yes, Davey, what's your question?
If someone did it on Shabbat, can you eat the food or no?
Not so simple.
Really?
Not so simple. Maybe you can say batel. There is a room to be lenient, but not glad kosher. Okay, so now we said the Mishnah spoke about ha'ofeh. You're not allowed to bake on Shabbat. Why the Mishnah said ha'ofeh? Why the Mishnah said whoever is
But hold on,
cooking on Shabbat?
This one, if you're taking the pot from the plata and you're bringing to the samavar, to the
Yeah,
water, and open the hot water inside.
directly.
So directly
No
to
airspace.
to the pot. but
No
the pot-
airspace.
Yeah, it's not airspace. It's directly to the pot, but the pot is not on the plata, and then you return it to the plata.
Fine, because the plat is kli rishon. It was on the plata. You remove it from the plata, it's still very hot. It's still kli rishon. When is going to lose the status of kli rishon? When it's going to get cooled off. As long as it's still very hot, you cannot touch it. It still has the status of kli rishon. So you're pouring from samavar, which is kli rishon, directly into the pot, which is kli rishon, without
Yeah,
airspace.
so-
It didn't cool off even 1 degree. No problem. You
So
can
by
put it
this
back on the
way-
plata.
By this way, some people they're doing or so nighttime, then the plata is old. They're taking out the
Those
food,
who-
so it's not gonna get burned.
Burn.
Or something like that. They're putting on they're putting back morning 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
By this time it's getting cold. And
But it's
you
already
can-
cooked and it's dry.
You can put all the hot water inside.
Now you cannot put hot water
Or you're not mixing
because
it
it's
up
already
together,
klisheni now.
huh?
Now it's klisheni, it's cold. If you put from samavar, which is kli rishon, into the cold pot, it's already klisheni. Then you're gonna put it back on the platter from klisheni that is not cooking. You're gonna go to kli rishon, which it is cooking. That's called cooking after cooking by liquid, which is no problem. That's how you will be allowed to add the hot water whenever it's the pot that you're holding. It's still very hot, not letting it cool down, and then you're allowed to put it back on the platter. Okay, back to us. So we said, now what is the quantity of cooking on Shabbat? If a person cooked one drop, did he cook by Torah or no? Huh? Mr. Moshe Yev,
You're going
if
to
a person
We're done with the
cook
Nash?
By
by
Torah is
one drop of water,
No.
is he breaking Shabbat Doraita or no? So according to our Torah, it has to be 18 grams to be Doraita.
18 grams.
18 grams. Why it's important to know? Soon Rabbi Vad Yosef is going to talk about the laws of cooking. We
18
almost shifting right now. We're finishing with kneading lash of volume 4, and we're shifting to the laws of cooking. And we're going to learn a very interesting question. Mr. Kusayev, you wash your cup. Your wife drink coffee. Sure, you wash the cup after her. Now you want to make coffee for yourself. After you wash the cup with soap or whatever, always there's a one drop left inside. You know, after you just washed it. Now you want to put your sugar inside, coffee inside, whatever, and you want to put samavar, directly on it. Can you do that on Shabbat?
No problem.
From samavar directly into your coffee.
No problem because we know that the bottom
Coffee
cooks.
is-
No,
coffee
we have a
is.
So
concept.
according to our Torah,
Well,
there is no cooking after cooking. The coffee we have, instant coffee, it's already pre-cooked.
tea, no.
What about tea?
Did I say tea?
No.
I say coffee, подожди.
Oh.
Coffee. What about sugar? The sugar we have, what's the halakha regarding it?
Also the same thing is also been done over there.
It's also cooked. The cheap sugar we have, it's all cooked already. The cheap one. Not talking about the cane sugar one. The cheap one, the regular cheap one, it's already pre-cooked. So the powder of the, not powder, the sugar we have, the coffee is already pre-cooked. But we have the rule, no cooking after cooking. So therefore I'm allowed to pour directly from the samavar into my coffee cup with the sugar and the coffee already inside there. Good? Good. Question is, if you're gonna pour that, okay, the sugar, the coffee is cooked. What about that one drop that you just washed the cup that it was
Problem.
inside?
It's a problem because we
No,
learned
it's
this
not problem
concept.
making
no,
one
we
mistake.
said 18.
No, but that's the right.
So 18 grams quantity is the oraita. Less than 18 grams, it's 100% allowed.
No, it's Rabbanan.
Not allowed.
It's still asur. The
We
Rabbana.
learned if the bottom always counts. So the bottom is cold, the top coming is hot. So it's a problem. If it was the other way around,
Opposite. If the bottom one is wins, the bottom one is cold.
That's
So
what I'm
whenever
saying.
the
So it's a
hot
problem.
goes on top of the
So it's a
cold,
problem. That's
it's
a
not a problem because the bottom one wins.
So the
What
bottom is
happens
cold.
when, let me
It's
speak.
cooking.
What happens whenever I pour hot into cold? Is the hot heating up the cold or the cold cooling off the hot? Because really it both happens. This one cools off this one and this one heats up this one. But which one halachically do we core?
Depends on the quantity. It's cold and
Very
the
good.
quantity of hot.
So the Bet Yosef concludes with your words, Kosayev. Whatever the other guy said, it's debatable in the Rishonim. Some said the top one is winning because it's very hot. The end result is going to be hot. The other one, Rashba and Ran says no. Always we go with the bottom one. The bottom one is cold. The equation is that the bottom one cools off the hot, not the hot
That's what
heats
we
up.
learned. The bottom one wins.
Hold on, but comes the Bet Yosef and says, how are we going to reconcile? This one says this way, this says this way. What are we going to come to conclusion? Says the Bet Yosef, depends on the quantity. After the hot going to get mixed with the cold, what's going to be the result over here? Scalding hot or no? Is
no.
It's going to be scalding hot, you
It's
cannot
gonna be
touch?
No, it's gonna
Just
be
one drop.
One drop of cold water and a whole cup of hot water. What's going to be the end result? Hot. So therefore, the top one cooked that one drop. So you're cooking on Shabbat.
exactly.
Why is that allowed?
So the bottom one
So
wins.
because of that, Ashkenazim,
Because you have
before
coffee
they make
there.
coffee or chai on Shabbat, no jokes, all jokes aside, they
Plastic
take they take a paper or a towel or whatever, and they dry even that last drop.
You should.
Why? Because you're pouring right now from the samovar directly on it. You're gonna make on Shabbat cooking. Isu, what is that?
If you have a coffee in it, the sugar in it already, you're not cooking.
Why not cooking, Yaakov?
You're not getting
You're cooking that one drop.
But we said less than 18
What's the paper
grams.
cup?
But it's but it is less than 18 grams is asu. The Rabbanan. But it's asu.
So,
They don't.
however, if you put 1 drop
Oh.
of water and you have coffee and sugar, like you said, if the coffee and sugar
It's
will absorb
absorbed
that,
already.
Oh.
it's done.
Oh. So David says a good point.
Sometimes it's on the walls.
David says a good point. What happens whenever it gets absorbed? The fact that I get something absorbed, that is allows me to cook it now?
Yeah, because Rabbanan.
It's a new.
Huh?
It's a new.
It's suffix sufekana.
It's a no.
Chagai asked, Rabbi, what if I'm going to take the pot off on Friday night, 10 at 11 p.m., and then I'm going to, in the morning, 6 a.m., when I wake up, somebody wakes up, he puts the cold water that he wants, mixes it, gets all absorbed in the
No,
osvo.
you don't need to mix it.
I'm saying, let's say. Now, can I put it back on the plata or no? What did we answer him? No, but it all got absorbed. Where's the water? So we say that something get absorbed, it's still not allowing you to reheat it, to cook it. Not reheat, it's really cooking it because it's the first time that cold water. So that will not be justification to allow that one drop to be poured samovar directly on it. So the answer is Davy says. Davy, what's your answer?
Care for it.
Oh, very good. Do you care that one drop to get cooked?
No. We don't.
But John, but that's inevitable. It's for sure going to happen.
Right.
Pasik reshe. Why is that allowed? Pasik reshe.
The Rabbanan.
In which issue?
And the Rabbanan.
No, it's doraita.
Why do I? Why?
Because the bottom one wins. You're cooking it.
But if the bottom one wins, you're not cooking it.
Still hot.
You're cooling it. The bottom one is cold.
It's cooling off. Okay.
Cooling off the hot one.
Okay.
So because we don't pass in the bottom one wins in small quantity, you're passing like Kusayev said. That it depends on the amount. What happens in the end? That's a conclusion that Yosef comes with. So right now, what do? You are cooking the cold, that one drop. But the question is what level of cooking is it?
Rabbanan cooking.
Why is it Rabbanan?
Less
Why?
than 18.
Oh,
Less than 18.
because how much water is it?
And also you don't care.
How much
about
water is it?
Less than 18.
Less than 18 grams.
And you don't care about it.
Oh, do you want that one drop to get cooked? Do you care about this one drop over there?
No.
Huh? If it will be a dry cup, you say, oh, listen, a dry cup I don't take. Only one drop inside, then I take it. Huh? Do you care about this like that?
No.
No. So what is that, Aaron? Pasik reshe, I don't intend to cook it. In Yisur de Rabbanan, because the amount of it is very, very little. It's less than 18 grams.
Yeah.
And the end result, I don't care for.
Oh,
Allah.
So only if you
That's against the Ashkenazim. Ashkenazi, what they say? You have to
wipe it.
why? But remember in yeshiva, our friend used to learn Mishnah Berurah Chafetz Chaim laws of the cooking of Shabbat laws. And I remember on Shabbat, he used to
Wipe it.
go. Some cups used to have that, on the slope. So they used to go with a towel, trying to get that one drop on the bottom.
But they can do so shlishi, right?
Yeah, but they want to be hot. The coffee to cook well. If you make klish lishu, уже не такой
So
горячий.
40 people we can do lechatchila?
So Rabbi Yosef, it's allowed. He says it's allowed.
Lechatchila.
Yeah, it's allowed. He says that's why, Yosef John. That's why it's important.
didn't he-
Oh, Yosef.
Okay, are you allowed, Rabbi? Are you allowed?
בימים ההם.
Rabbi, are you allowed on Shabbat? Take the cup, even though it's let's say dirty cup, whatever. You take it with the hot water. You cleaning with the hot water. Spill it. So whatever is gram staying over there, you're doing coffee is already hot. And
What
the
hot?
cup-
What hot?
The cup is already got hot from the.
Mr. Chaimov, how are you? Where's your partner? Yeah?
So when you're taking the hot water,
You rinse
the
it.
cup
You rinse it.
and you're cleaning the cup with the hot water. And
Yeah.
you spill it. It's gonna stay over there 2-3 grams.
נכון.
But the cup is already got hot. It's not gonna be cooking the water left over there.
נכון. That's it.
Why
The chidush is,
why-
Chagai, whatever you're saying right now, it's not a chidush. The chidush is even something bigger than that. That if I wash the cup with tap water, that was never cooked that water, would I be allowed to pour directly from Samavar on this water?
Yeah.
That's a
This
bigger
is what I
chidush.
understand, but
Your
why-
question is about water that was already cooked. That's even easier. Definitely it'll be allowed.
No, I'm saying why Ashkenazim, they need to take paper towel to dry the cup. They're taking with the hot water cleaning. That's it. It's hot. It's not cooking over there.
Because remember, this one is kli sheni, Samavar is kli rishon. Once you put it in that cup, you rinsed it. What did you do to that cup, to that water? You made it kli sheni. Kli sheni lo mevashel. So he came from samavar, which it is cooking, putting it inside the cup, which is not cooking. So you made it right now not cookable. Now you pour directly from samavar, hot palaka samavar on that. You make it cook again. There is cooking after cooking in liquids. So the only justification you have is that equation that we give, because you don't intend for that drop, and the amount of it is very little, and the end result is not in your favor. I don't care for it to get cooked or not. It's you could have dried that drop before, and it wouldn't bother me.
You need all three, or two is enough?
Three.
You need all. You must have all.
Yes,
three.
yes,
Rabbi,
yes.
if you want to drink warm water, should you add the hot? Is it okay to add the cold water first?
So hold it. We're gonna learn it. I just wanted to finish this point. So that's why it's important, Rabotai, to know the quantities of the melachot. A person should not think. Yeah, I know. I was looking on the time. It's interesting that you heard it and I didn't hear it. So that's why it's very important, Rabotai, to learn the details of the laws of Shabbat. Some people, you ask them, listen, you Shomer Shabbat? Kanishna, Rabbi, you don't know me. Kanishna, I'm Shomer Shabbat. We're talking about Shomer Shabbat. Johnny Khalfesh, do you learn the laws of Shabbat? No. Imagine you ask a doctor, listen, doctor, are you a doctor? Kanishna, what you don't see here, I have a white gown, I have an office, when it says doctor so-and-so. Of course I'm a doctor. So listen, doctor, did you learn medical school? No, what, I come every time to the clinic. What, you never see me in the clinic? Rabbi, I keep Shabbat. Of course, I come to synagogue every day. I come to the clinic, but doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. When you come to the synagogue and you're not learning, how would you go to a doctor that he claims that he's a doctor, but he never went to medical school? Not nowhere, not in America, and nowhere. He just has a nice white gown and he comes to the clinic every day. Would you trust this doctor? You're gonna say, "Yo, doctor, you're a joke. A good doctor you are." So a person can put a kalpog on Shabbat, comes kind of so with a nice suit. He says, "Rabbi, I'm Shomer Shabbat." Johnny Khalfesh, how you Shomer Shabbat if you didn't learn? You never went to Shabbat law school ever. Well, how do you Shomer Shabbat? You understand, Rabotai? That's why it's essential for every Jewish person to learn the laws of Shabbat Chaimov Atekash, on the bottom of it, with all the details, not Chas v'Shalom, to be Mechalet Shabbat, rather to keep the laws and Be'ezat Hashem get the blessing of Shabbat. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. Yalla, tavi lanu et